My name is Gennady Golovkin.
And you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, it's fight week, and regardless what you think about this fight, if it's a mismatch or whatever, this is a big fight card, especially considering the fact that it's not on pay-per-view and it's on regular HBO. So this morning, the middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Golovkin, he arrived in London, and he's ready to face off with the man, Special K, KELL BROOK. Now, KELL BROOK, who's been fired up, been talking a whole lot of stuff about this fight. One thing I will say is he seems genuine. It doesn't sound manufactured when I hear KELL BROOK talk about the confidence that he has going into the ring. Now, I don't know if that confidence is going to help him, but we're going to find out this weekend for sure. So as Gennady Golovkin arrived in London this morning, this is what KELL BROOK had to say. Quote, "He's going to be in for a big shot. Him and his team are. When they clear the ring and it's just me and him in there, he's going to realize from the first jab I throw that he's not in there with a welterweight. That he's fighting someone who means business and is determined to take those belts away from him. He's in a real fight with a guy who's got no respect for him. He's got to show me something to get that respect. I'm going in there, kill or be killed. That's where we are." End quote. You know, you don't see this too often. You don't hear a smaller guy who's the underdog, a massive underdog, moving up in weight, talking with this much confidence. A lot of people always say, oh, he just wanted to check. No, I don't believe that. KELL BROOK, he truly believes that he can beat Gennady Golovkin. He truly believes it. It doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition, but you can tell that KELL BROOK is very genuine when it comes to his confidence. We're going to find out this weekend how much that's going to help him. Overall, this is a very good fight card. I'm really looking forward to watching this card. Of course, the fact that they have Roman Gonzalez going up against Carlos Cedras, that is a great co-main event right there. You know, it's really ironic when you look at the dichotomy between the two fights. You take Roman Gonzalez, who's actually moving up in weight, and facing a guy who may be naturally just as big as Roman or may even be a little bit bigger than him. And then you have KELL BROOK, the middleweight champion, who's facing the welterweight champion. But at the same time, on paper, I truly believe that KELL BROOK is the most complete fighter that Gennady Golovkin has ever faced. The only problem is he's not a natural middleweight. But if KELL BROOK was a natural middleweight, I would be picking him to win this fight, hands down. But that's not the case. It'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. It'll really be interesting to see who has more of a dominant performance. Roman Gonzalez moving up in weight, or KELL BROOK, or Gennady Golovkin, I should say, facing what is perceived to be a smaller fighter, despite the fact that KELL BROOK actually outweighs Gennady Golovkin. But that doesn't always translate to a fighter being the bigger man in the ring. But we're going to see what all that means this weekend. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. You know, once again, I expect someone to get exposed this year. Either exposed or flat out beat and exposed. I mean, when you look at some of the fights this year, you have Golovkin versus Brook this weekend. You have Roman Gonzalez once again moving up in weight against the undefeated WBC champion Carlos Cedras. You have Canelo Alvarez versus Liam Smith. That's one you really need to pay attention to. The more I look at Liam Smith sparring sparring with KELL BROOK, looking at his highlights, I'm starting to see that fight as a 50-50 fight. And that doesn't make Canelo look good, because it may be a 50-50 fight or a 60-40 fight. The fact that Canelo Alvarez, he picked the guy that he deemed to be the weakest link out of all the toughest challenges at 154, it just goes to show you what level Canelo Alvarez is on, if this fight is even competitive. I think it's safe to say there's almost just as much pressure on Canelo Alvarez as there is on Gennady Golovkin when it comes to putting on a flawless, dominant performance. We all know right now, if Gennady Golovkin goes in there and struggles against the welterweight champion KELL BROOK, that would be a catch-22 for Gennady Golovkin. The bad news is he will be exposed. He will no longer look immortal. He will probably drop down a couple notches on some people's pound-for-pound list. But the good news is more people that were reluctant to get in the ring with him will most likely be willing to get in the ring with him if he does look vulnerable against KELL BROOK. So I'll leave it at that for now. Let's see what happens, guys. I'm on to the next one.
This is Bobby, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.